Yeah, I've been trying to tell the story, actually my story, what I'm going through, have been going through for the past 5 years. So 2020, September 18, Bobcat Fire destroyed my home. But most sadly, it destroyed my dog, my loyal friend. So from that day on, all the scams started. I can't believe people can be that heartless. I mean, no support, nothing. There is always a caveat. There is always a flip side. I tried calling the FEMA. And it's ridiculous. It's a joke. Okay, we'll send you, $450. Bro, I don't have job, man. My house is gone. Everything I had, all my artwork is gone. All my carvings, similar to these guys, they're all gone. All my paintings are gone. Everything I, loved kind of, most importantly, my dog, man. I don't even want to wake up in the morning, it's I'm so stinking depressed. You want to help me? Like, okay, it is like $400. Okay, thank you. What else? I mean, I have to be grateful. Then, so immediately, I found this architect. Yeah, so I asked, would you design a house so I can rebuild? And I was really underinsured, only 300,000. This is 2020. So no matter what it designed, it would have cost me $600,000. I said, okay, I'll go with the barn dominium. So, that's what I can afford. What can I say? It's okay. By the way, the barn survived the fire. So I started living there in a barn with my 3 dogs. And I'm still living there. I just make it a little bit habitable. My studio, I painted, make it kind of a nice so I can at least live with dignity. It took 1 year for the county to even allow us to start anything, something on rebuilding process. They said, okay, we'll help you. I'll help you as a government agency, LA County, to do the cleanup for free. For free? Okay. At that time, there was a contractor wanted $22,000 or $25,000 to do the cleanup. Yeah. And I said, okay, it's for free. Okay, I'll let you do that. And they told me, but with one condition, we have to remove your foundation. I go like, bro, why? Foundation is powerful foundation. No, we have to remove, otherwise we won't do it. So I agreed. It took them a while to do cleanup, and one day, I see that they're like laughing and yelling at each other, the county workers. So I go like, what's up, guys? It says the backhoe of that big, machine broke. Because they say, man, this is a powerful foundation. We never seen a foundation like this. I go like, please, guys, spare me, man. Now you are telling me, yeah? I told you it's a good, anyways. And then, so what happened this day, that free ended up costing me $136,000, if I'm not mistaken. 136 or 150 something, I don't remember. But $136,000, 36,000 is they took from my code upgrade money. They took that too. So the free ended up being $130,000, while I could have done it for 22,000 or 25,000 using my own code upgrade money, which you also took. And on top of that, you charged, over $100,000. What type of free is that? What type of racket is that? That's a scam. Anyways, so, those days I was, really depressed. For God's sake, I'm still depressed now. I mean, there are some days that I remember how I ran into my dog, That dog, man, my friend, had so much dignity. Man, I had that dog for 5 years, and it never let me yell at him, He would do everything that I was about to ask him to do, he would do it, like telepathic connection with that dog. You know, his name was Zangi. He was an Armenian Gamper, wolfhound. You know, there is this one. This is his brother's pup, right here. Can you see it? I ended up going to Indiana and getting this guy. His name is Zangi too. You know, he's an Armenian Gamper. So this is my dogs that died. Is you know, brother's pup. So as soon as I knew, you know, his brother was in Indiana, my friend and I, you know, drove all the way to Indiana from California and got this guy. I love him. But you know, the Zangi that died, it was so dignified, you know. Anytime he wanted me to kind of pet him, he would approach me cautiously. And then I would, you know, pet him. And then as soon as, you know, I wanted to tell him enough, he would know, wouldn't wait for me, he would go. So it affected me so much, you know. And at the same time, you know, all these things going on with the insurance company, with the county. So I hired this public adjuster, yeah, to help me with the navigate the insurance maze. The guy didn't even tell me that I had a code upgrade money that I could have used to have that cleanup done, you know. He never told me about that. He only told me when it expired. There was like 2 weeks before it expires, he tells me, oh, Ed, your code upgrade money, $36,000 is about to expire. I'm like, what is code upgrade money? I'm like, bro, now you charge me $40,000. You charge me $40,000, yet you made a mistake like that, you know? And you always talk down on me, you know? Always you were talking down to a point where I didn't even want to call you. You know, is that how much compassion you have for someone that, you know, asked for your help and paid you whatever you asked? I don't know, man. So it's just, things started happening, man, you know. And an insurance company paid some money. And I said, okay, unless, you know, you do some construction, I'm not gonna release the rest of the money. I was like, my friends, I mean, I'm already underinsured, only 300,000. You know, I don't have money. They say, oh, we paid you, you know, for the, you know, personal property. I was like, I know, I have 4 family members. I have mortgage. I don't have a house, but I have to pay the mortgage and we have to eat. We've been in a disaster. I'm gonna need some of that money. No. They don't give me money. The county wouldn't give me the permit so I could start the, you know, process of building. So I'm caught in building in the middle. 5 years I've been waiting for permit. The county has been giving me the runaround, you know, change this, change that. And the people that I hired to do my plans, stupid, to a point where I wonder how they got the license. Like elemental things they don't know how to do. The only reason I didn't replace them is because someone else had to start from the beginning. You know, they don't know how to do the corrections for the county. So finally I called the county. I go like, guys, why can't you help these idiots, you know, my architects or whatever, help them do it correctly? After all, you are the plan checker, yeah? You know how it's done. And you see that already like 6 months, you keep sending it back. They keep correcting and sending it to you, again, send it back. Why? Aren't you there to help me? Don't you think of me? That all that time I'm living here with my dogs in a 22 by 22 barn. Guys, please, why can't you tell them how to do it? After all, you are receiving $250,000 salary, man. You don't even come to work. You work from home. And am I asking too much? Please help them to do things correctly if they don't know how to do it. That's your job, to help that process to move forward. Okay, we'll do it. Nothing. It's still the same thing, you know. And I still don't have the permit, and this September 18th is a 5-year anniversary. I'm telling you, if I didn't do all my See, all my artwork was burned, my favorite works, anyways. So afterwards, I would go into the debris of my house and I would look for things that have survived the fire. But of course, I couldn't find anything. Instead, I started noticing these copper pieces, melted glass, melted aluminum, or whatever. Those are just melted everything, fused together. And they are different colors. And I started like collecting them. That was my kind of a routine. I would go there and sift through all that, junk and collect those pieces that would cut my eye, catch my eye. And I started making things with them, jewelry or anything. All my art has been from those pieces, from the debris of my house. See, whatever you see here is I found in the debris. Even the wood is from my house, These are all done with with those things, and that's what I think kept me going. Without that art, I don't think I would have died by now from a heart attack, because I feel so helpless. But that art kind of helped me move forward. I don't know if, since we are talking about it, let me show you kind of what I'm talking about. See, these are all done from those pieces. See? I found all this copper in a fire. Yeah, so many like things. So all these things are from that fire. All this copper. I started making jewelry. So those melted pieces. Yeah. So anyway, so I started making this, and that's what has saved me. Yeah, like this simple burnt copper. Actually, that was a pipe. I made it from a pipe. Or these guys. Yeah, man, it's been a while since I went through this. See, and I learned how to do lots of stuff, all these things. Yeah. Anyway, so pretty much what I want to say is that I started making art. Started making art with those pieces. Yeah. So, and that's what kept me going. Otherwise, I would have gone crazy. Yeah, that's pretty much my story. All the money is gone. Yeah. I've been, since 2017, I've been self-employed, doing, photography and art and selling that. That's for me sufficient. I'm okay. Whatever I have, I'm good with it. So I've been doing that. But since the fires, I just can't, do anything. See, I just can't. All my life I worked. All my life I worked. For 21 years I worked for AT&T. First for DirecTV as a network administrator and then senior IT analyst. I was in charge of the security, the encryption, decryption, and I loved my job. But in 2018, for some reason, one day I'm sitting there in the traffic. I was like, why are you here? What are you doing? Your life is spent on this traffic, man. And from that day on, something changed. I started to hate that environment, like office environment, all that artificial circulated air. So I quit. I went to my manager. I said, I don't want to come to work. He says, are you crazy? What do you mean? I said, I'm not enjoying my work, I can't. I can't do something I don't like. All my life I've done what I enjoy. And I 21 years and I never asked for a raise. Never asked for a raise, But always be satisfied with what I had, whatever I had. I didn't lack anything, so that was good. He goes, man, you're getting $150,000. You want to throw it 2018, just like that? Don't you have a mortgage, children, car? I was like, of course I do. But I'm not afraid because I cannot be a slave to that. I quit. And since then, things were working fine. Never, I started spending whatever, I saved. I go, what are you saving it for, man? I mean, if you have money, why are you saving? For what? For what day? When you retire, when you are old? Bro, this is your life. It's going by. Enjoy it. Do what you like. You put your money in 401k and you are going and doing photography and hustling here and there, although it's not a hustle because I love it. But still, why aren't you using that money? Why? You are keeping it for what? To invest for what day? So when I'm old fart and then, I can pay the, a nursing home to take care of me, screw that. So I started using that. I always lived well, in abundance, never acted from the scarcity, always abundance. And, I never liked money or anything until, the fires and the consequences and the borrowing and then the COVID and then this and that. Yeah, but I'm not complaining. It's okay. It's okay. I'm still, selling some of the art. It's okay. It's not much, but, I carve those. And majority of this wood is, again, from my property, These are all from the property. Yeah, anyways, the reason I'm recording this is I'm making a video about what happened to me and how the county, it's a heartless people. How bureaucracy works in California, how bureaucratic the system is, No one cares about. Can you imagine someone who always paid taxes, never asked for a handout? And when I asked, I was turned down because they wanted to, we'll help you, we'll pay 20 grand towards your home, but you have to close your account with the county and again, apply again. What type of condition is that, guys? I already been waiting 2 years. I mean, that's when, I applied after 2 years. Look, what type of help is that? Who's gonna agree on that, Are you crazy, man? Anyway, so yeah, that's the reason I'm recording. These are two, some of the artworks. I did these guys with clay, some clay work. See, this is type of thing that with the items I found in a fire. Yeah, so yeah, that's because that's the truth. That's what it is. All these things, all those, I hope it takes all this, I made them. Those are, flutes. Yeah, it keeps me busy, I made more or less, livable this place. And this is all my machinery and stuff, here. It's a mess, but as I said lately, I don't even have the mood to do anything, That's a shame. At least before, I would do the artwork. All these little guys, And this story of these carvings, this is an interesting story, I never got a formal education in carving. So this is from those burnt items. Yeah, never got a formal education. It's just one day I picked up the piece of wood. It was a, what you call it, grapevine wood. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, so, okay, the way I started carving, I'm self-taught, in carving, in painting, in photography, and music, everything I do is self-taught. So, because it's inspiration, it comes, it's being done through me. I don't do it. This is something I painted with hands. Actually, it's like fingers. Yeah. Anyway, so 2007, I come home. So kids say, "Dad, uh, grandfather is not well." I go like, "What you mean?" Yeah. I go like, so I run into the other, house. I go like, I see my mom, doing something in the kitchen. I go like, "Mom, where is Dad?" She says, "Oh, he just entered the bathroom." I go like, "What's wrong with him? What's going on?" And by the time she answered, I opened up the bathroom door. Why? I don't know. Why would you do that? As I opened up the bathroom door, my dad is standing still, fully dressed, and he's going. He's falling. So I just grabbed him, and he died in my hands. He was saying, like, "Take me out of here," not in bathroom. He was that kind of, guy. So anyway, so I bring him outside the bathroom, and he died in my hands. But while I was holding him, you know, for just a fraction of a second, I saw, instead of my dad, I saw this ancient guy with a long beard, it's like a long hair. It's like 200-year-old, sunken eyes, and all that stuff. This elderly guy, 300-year-old guy, like you see in the movies, ancient guy. For a second, I saw that person, that character. I don't know why. Didn't question it. Just saw it. So my dad passes away, and then in my backyard we had a grapevine. That grapevine was, had fruit, big fruits, grapes. As soon as he died, it started to go dry. So it dried up. No matter how much I looked at it after it dried up, and I couldn't bring myself to cut it down. Yeah, it was dry. So 2, 3 years it stayed there dry. It's like a big tree. Yeah? It was like what, 10, 15-year-old tree. So finally I said, okay, I need to cut it. I'll keep the wood, and maybe one day I'll use it for artwork. So that's what I did. I cut it. And then another year later, or maybe two, I don't remember, I pick up a piece of that wood and I start carving. And it's so hard that I go like, wow, man, this is not gonna do it. So I order some tools, start carving. So I carve it, carve it, carve it. And then when it's done, I put it there and I look at it, and I almost fainted. This is my first carving. Because I saw this guy. Actually, I saw this guy. So subconsciously or whatever, I carved that guy. I carved that guy, and since I've been carving, and I never stopped carving. So that's weird, So it's the same wood, I just carved everywhere. Yeah, and I never stopped carving these guys. But this is the first carving. This is the guy, and I almost fainted, when I look at it. That was the guy. That's it. And I never carved. I didn't know how to carve. I just picked up this piece of wood and started carving on it. And after that, I carved this one. This is my second carving. Again, the same. This is the same wood, grapevine. So that's second carving. Yeah, that's the story. Yeah, man. I mean, even if they give me the permit today, how am I gonna rebuild? No money. Yeah. Yesterday I applied for a FedEx driver. I'm 57 years old. I hope they'll accept it. I have no tickets whatsoever. No accidents, no tickets. So hopefully they'll accept me. Because, you know, it cannot go on like this. I don't know whether they'll give the permit or not. So yeah, that's the story, guys. That's the story. Terrible. So much desperation, so much, but I just hang in there because that's all I can do, you know. The actions are mine, the results are not mine. So I cannot have expectations. That's it. Thank you.